Protesters storm Mexico's Senate amid judicial overhaul. A deep dive into the political unrest. On September 10, 2024, hundreds of protesters stormed Mexico's Senate in Mexico City, triggered by a controversial judicial reform plan spearheaded by the ruling Morena party. The protest, which came in response to the overhaul of the judiciary, caused a temporary recess in Senate proceedings as lawmakers sought to ensure their safety amidst the unrest. This event marked an escalation in tensions that had been brewing for weeks, reflecting deeper issues surrounding Mexico's political landscape and governance. The judicial overhaul, pushed forward by outgoing President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, proposes that all judges be elected rather than appointed, a move critics argue undermines judicial independence and weakens the system of checks and balances. Supporters of the reform claim that it would help combat corruption and increase accountability within the judiciary. However, opponents fear it would create a judiciary heavily influenced by political interests, particularly those aligned with the ruling Morena party. López Obrador's plan has ignited intense political debate both within Mexico and internationally. The proposal has gained traction despite strong opposition from judicial employees, law students, and a large portion of the political spectrum. Critics warn that the reform could weaken Mexico's democracy by allowing the judiciary to be packed with judges loyal to the government, thus compromising the court's ability to act as a check on executive power. The most controversial aspect of the reform is the proposed method of judicial selection. Currently, judges are appointed based on merit and experience, ensuring a level of independence. Under the new system, judges would be elected, opening the door for political influence to dictate who presides over crucial legal matters. This shift has sparked widespread concern about the future of the rule of law in Mexico. The protests reached a fever pitch on the day the Senate was set to vote on the overhaul. Hundreds of protesters, carrying Mexican flags and chanting against the reform, broke through the doors of the Senate chambers. The intensity of the demonstrations highlighted the frustration felt by many Mexicans who believe their concerns are being ignored by lawmakers. One protester, Alejandro Navarrete, a judicial worker, expressed the sentiment of many, stating, "Our intention is not violent, but we intend to make it clear that the Mexican people won't allow them to lead us into a dictatorship." Navarrete's remarks reflect widespread fears that the reform would centralize power and diminish judicial independence, echoing concerns from opposition senators and civil society groups. Inside the Senate, political drama unfolded as the ruling Morena party struggled to secure the votes necessary to pass the reform. The party's efforts were bolstered when a key opposition senator, Miguel Ángel Yunes Linares, controversially decided to support the plan after replacing his son, Miguel Ángel Yunes Márquez, who stepped down due to health issues. This decision led to accusations of political collusion, with Yunes Linares being labeled a traitor by members of his own party. If the reform passes the Senate, it must still be ratified by 17 of Mexico's 32 state legislatures, where Morena is expected to have sufficient support. Nevertheless, the international and domestic backlash against the proposal has been fierce. Critics argue that the judicial overhaul could have far-reaching consequences for Mexico's democracy, with concerns ranging from compromised judicial independence to the potential for increased political corruption. The United States has also weighed in, with U.S. Ambassador Ken Salazar warning that the reform poses a risk to Mexico's democracy and economic stability. Investors have expressed similar concerns, as the uncertainty surrounding the judicial system could deter foreign investment and damage Mexico's economic prospects. As the Senate prepares to cast its final vote, Mexico finds itself at a crossroads. The judicial overhaul has exposed deep divisions within the country, not only between political parties but also among the general population. The protests, which continue to gain momentum, signal a growing discontent with the political direction of the country. In the coming days, all eyes will be on Mexico's Senate as it makes a decision that could shape the future of the nation's legal and political systems. Whether the reform passes or fails, the political landscape in Mexico will likely continue to evolve, with implications for governance, democracy, and the rule of law.